In this video, I created and customized a giant working marker for ZHC and then surprised him and his crew with it. ZHC is the largest art channel on all of YouTube and is known for designing and customizing different items and then gifting them to people. But no one has ever done that for Zach himself, and I thought, why not be the first? Only one problem though. How does one even make a marker in the first place, let alone build a giant version of one? But ladies and gentlemen, I am determined. And I know that if you set your mind to something, anything can be made possible. That is within a reasonable amount of time, except I only had 10 days to make this thing before I met ZHC at VidCon. And I've got a packed schedule. Not to even mention, I've never once built anything remotely close to something of this stature in my entire life. Heck, I could barely make a PB&J sandwich. At first I thought, well, why not just 3D print it? But I don't own or know anyone who has a 3D printer, and I don't have the cash flow to go out and buy a machine that costs $2,000. So I went to the one place that usually always has an answer. How to make giant working marker. And despite the obscurity of my search, I surprisingly enough got some good results. Does anyone remember Troom Troom? The channel that literally made a video teaching you how to smuggle pets into a movie theater?
Yo, this hat is my lifestyle. Yo, yo, yo. Come out, cutie. It's your favorite part.
Yes, that Troom Troom.
Thank you, Troom Troom. I don't have a hamster, but I will be smuggling 3 pounds of cocaine in my hat now using your technique.
Anyways, I soon realized that the 2017 Cringe channel actually did something helpful for once. They created a giant marker already. Now that I had a rough idea of how to build a giant marker, it was time to start designing. Zach uses what are called Posca paint pens for almost all of his projects, so I decided to structure this giant version off that same marker. Since I have never seen one of these markers aside from in video form, I'd at least need one for research purposes to figure out how to properly scale and design the giant version. So I went to Michael's craft store and bought one and took it back home to do some analysis. Like most markers, the Posca one had 4 basic pieces that make up the marker itself. 1, the shaft/body, 2, the head, 3, the tip, 4, the cap, and 5, the actual liquid used for drawing. And design-wise, the marker itself has 4 distinct characteristics that make it unique. 1, the clip on the cap protrudes slightly, meaning that we'll need to create a separate piece just for that. 2, the head of the marker has 3 separate rungs, each different sizes, so we'll have to also create 3 separate pieces for that too. Measurements were next. I know I hate math, you probably hate math, we all flippin' hate math. So I'll spare you with those details. Pause the screen if you really are that curious. But basically, I scaled the tiny marker up by a little bit over 3.5 times to create the giant version. I'll explain the reasoning behind this number later in the video. Now that I had a basic idea of how to execute everything, it was time to gather the supplies. The basis of the marker will be made out of cardboard tubing, since that's what they used in the Troom Troom video, and I already had some lying around. So I chose this tube as the shaft and this one for the cap. As for the head, Troom Troom took a bottle and a cup and smashed them together to make theirs. But there's only 2 rungs and we need 3. So for mine, I decided to use part of the cardboard tube as the first rung, the bottom of the McDonald's cup as the second rung, and then a portion of this tube thing I found as the 3rd rung. Finally, for the tip of the marker, Troom Troom took some wool, rolled it into a ball, dipped it in soap, then in water in turn, and let it dry before cutting a groove in it and hot gluing a bottle cap inside that had a hole. With everything now figured out, it was time to start building. Cue the building montage.
You're so mean!
Big boy pants in my pockets is thick. Hello Kitty keychain ain't straight from my hip. Got a big boy bag, got a big boy drip. Make a little girl sad cause a big boy rich. Big boy pants in my pockets is thick. Hello Kitty keychain ain't straight from my hip. Got a big boy bag, got a big boy drip. Make a little girl sad cause a big boy rich. I'm a girl, I'm a girl, I'm a girl, I know. But I got a big mouth and a big boy flow. Yeah, they only wanna listen when it's being but you're an incel, I can tell, I know.
I'm not sure if you can see here, but the hot glue melted the plastic, so I'm gonna need to patch that up.
Calling me a loser like I never really got far. Your whole crew got more pigs in a cop car. Kiss my feet cause you'll never see the top bar. Wishing you were me every time that you pop bars. Ouch, yeah that one hurt. Lemon juice in a wound, that's never gonna work.
Despite me putting tape on it, it kind of absorbed the spray paint, which isn't good. I came up with a plan B. Decided I was gonna make the clip 3D, and so I cut out the pieces. So this will go on top of here, as you can see here.
Big boy pants in my pockets is thick. Hello Kitty keychain hang straight from my hip. Got a big boy bag, got a big boy drip. Make a little girl sad cause a big boy rich. Big boy pants in my pockets is thick. Hello Kitty keychain hang straight from my hip. Got a big boy bag, got a big boy drip. Make a little girl sad cause a big boy rich. I see you hate on me cause you're mad. You don't have the that I have. Maybe if you got off your ass, you could get some too. A big bag.
So the first result was this, which is definitely not what Troom Troom had showed in their video. I guess let's try this again.
Boys roll, girls rule, that's just a fact. And if you think any different, then you're gonna get smacked. Flat back on the floor. And if you get mad, I'ma call you nice, love it, feminism. I only like parties when there's men up in a.
Okay, so it's testing time. So if I touch this to the concrete, it should leave like a mark. It flippin' works. This is so sick.
Big boy pants in my pockets is thick. Hello Kitty keychain hang straight from my hip. Got a big boy bag, got a big boy drip. Make a little girl sad cause a big boy rich.
With the basis of the marker now constructed, it was time to start designing the wrap that would go on the outside of it. I decided to take the basis of the Posca wrap, but add a unique twist by adding some of ZHC's branding and characters on it. So I hopped into Adobe Illustrator and whipped up the design. And within 4 hours, I felt it was finally ready, got it printed, and then applied it to the marker. And with just a little under 2 days to spare, I was finally finished. And now, without further ado, the grand reveal. This is literally about a week's worth of work, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I love it. I love it, and I hope the ZHC will love it too. I can't wait to see his reaction. Now, whoa, slow your roll there, bucko. We don't even know if we're gonna be able to get it into VidCon itself. You see, VidCon has a rule where you can't bring any bag larger than 12 by 12, which the marker would barely be able to fit inside of. Not to mention VidCon's other rule of no large objects that can be seen as weapons. And to be honest with you, this thing kinda looks suspicious the way it's wrapped up and packaged, so I wouldn't be surprised if they stopped me and told me I could not come in at all. Thank you so much. But to my surprise, they let me in! Let's go! Now, if you made it this far into the video, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like on it. You saw how much work we had to do to make this thing happen, so it'd really mean a lot. And without further ado, here is ZHC's reaction. Hello, guys.
Are we on camera?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It's going to my YouTube channel. I have something extremely special for you guys. 8 days work, lots of sleepless nights. Obviously, you guys use Posca paint pens when you make and customize things, right? Well, we have now created the one and the only ZHC marker. It is fully decked out with your characters. It actually physically works. Literally. Screw this thing off. There's a little hole you can pour paint in, and you pour the water in, you mix it up, and then just put it on paper, and you can literally draw with it.
Yo, this is awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna use this on my big paintings.
And just like that, my mission was complete. I had successfully delivered the marker to ZHC. I had such a great time with this project and would do it again in a heartbeat. Now if you like this video, consider subscribing because this isn't the last time I'm going to be doing something like this. I actually have 3 more videos planned where I'm going to be surprising some more YouTubers with some really cool items. So if you don't want to miss out on that, subscribing is the only way to do so.